Hello everyone. My name is Yogesh Rawat, and I'm an assistant professor at Center for Research in Computer Vision in the Computer Science Department. So my background is in computer science. I have some industry experience in semiconductors, and my PhD was mainly in computer vision and multimedia. And I joined CRCV UCF in 2019 as an assistant professor. So briefly, what I will do today is the projects which are ongoing in my group and the funding sources which we actually use. So basically, these are some recent funding programs we have. So these are like Darpa, Kairos, Darpa Red, and IARPA Briar. And I will briefly talk about like what exactly we are doing in these programs. This is my team. So currently I have around 6 PhD students and some undergrad interns. So in my group, we focus on computer vision, multimedia, and we develop deep learning architectures to solve problems in these two different domains. And most of the effort is in analyzing videos. These videos could be coming from CCTV cameras, which is like continuously coming online stream. These could be like from handheld devices or like any personal cameras. These could be like the video streams which are captured in autonomous vehicles. So the idea is a lot of video is being captured today in various different platforms. Even in like social media platforms, we see like a lot of videos uploaded. But the main concern is we don't have the capacity to actually manually analyze all those videos if we want to extract some meaningful information there. So a simple case is like even in case of surveillance, let's say we can put in like a lot of surveillance cameras in a facility. But again, if you have to analyze those videos manually, it's a very tiring job. So the goal is how we can analyze all these videos automatically. And again, it might differ from like case to case what exactly we want to analyze. So some of those I will cover today, what we actually focus on. So one of the main focus is recognizing human activities. So the idea is in most of these videos, what will happen is we'll have like a lot of individuals doing some kind of activities. So what we are interested in, we are trying to find out what exactly an individual is doing. So that we call action recognition. And some of these activities will be, could be anomalous, which might be important from a security point of view. The other aspect is, so visual information is one, but sometimes we might have multimodal information. So then the idea is, what if we have both visual modality, like which we can perceive, and then language, how we can incorporate these two languages together to build a more robust visual perception system, which can perform automatic reasoning. Some of the recent effort, like in my group, it's focusing in biometrics. So we have like a couple of programs in that. I will talk about that. And the idea here is, so biometrics mean there could be a lot of cues available in the videos or in the images, for example, face recognition, or it could be like fingerprints, iris, all those. But what we are interested in is, given a video, can we extract like the gait pattern, like how different individuals walk? So, and like it has been shown that it's actually different for different individuals. It's kind of a biometric cue. So that's something which we are focusing on. So all of this like research, one interesting aspect, and that's coming from machine learning, is all this learning, can we do this like in an efficient way? Of course, like if we collect a lot of annotations, we can do supervised learning. But what if we don't have that power? So how we can do that in a label efficient manner? And it could be like semi-supervised, self-supervised learning. And then one last thing I would like to add is when we build such a system for the real world, will that system be robust? So let's say it could be like a simple example. For example, we have an autonomous vehicle. Is it like robust against different environmental variations we see? So it could be day, night, it could be different lighting condition, it could be raining, it could be like bright sun. So under all those distribution shifts, will these models be robust or not? So we will look into that direction as well. So one of the program we had recently is, this is from IARPA, it's called Diva. So the focus here was, given these video streams, can we identify activities which are which are corresponding to humans as well as fakers. So it could be like just humans performing the activities, for example, walking, running, maybe climbing stairs, opening some doors. It could be interaction with like the environment, like opening a car door or driving the car away. So these were the activities, and this is like from surveillance point of view, security point of view. Here we, it was like a 4 years program where we developed like a deep learning based system, which was kind of end to end, no like manual intervention in between. So given a video, it will try to learn like which activity is happening, where it's happening. And this is like one sample example I'm showing here. And of course, this is like a more simple one where we just have one activity happening, which we can localize. Of course, there could be multiple activities happening at the same time. So what the system does is it localizes where the activity is happening and also tells you which activity is happening. And there were like multiple teams participating, and we developed this system which was like best in terms of performance and also speed. So a couple of I think outcomes here. It was it won like a scientific best scientific paper award. It won like several challenges in this problem, and we do have a patent available now for this solution. Now, the second program I will talk about is it's coming from Darpa Kairos. Here, the idea is, okay, we have these visual feeds, but can we learn something semantically interpretable? So it should not be like kind of a black box. You have a video, you say that, okay, this activity is happening, but also try to give some reasoning why that network is actually, or whatever software we have, it's making that decision. And in this one, we focused on like more complex activities, again, from like a human point of view. So when I say complex activity, it could be like not just like a simple action, like opening a car door. It could be like a long chain of sub activities where you're doing something, and then when then chain evolves, that defines a complex activity. And can we find like boundaries in such complex activities, or even detect like those sub activities in itself? And eventually, can we detect like the complex activity which was actually happening? And one challenge here was like we don't want to use a lot of labels here, which of course, as I said, if we have all those labels, we can do supervised learning. So we wanted to do this like in a weekly supervised manner. And the interesting outcome here was, given a long video, we were able to actually convert that into a graphical format. And this is kind of a semantic graph. And each node here represents like which activity is happening at what time, and it's connected to the visual cues. So once we have this semantic graph, then we know that, okay, if a network is actually making some decision, what was the reasoning behind that? So it's more moving towards like the interpretation of the learning process. Okay, so so that was about like understanding what is happening and the actual learning process. But recently we have seen like these methods are actually not robust against very small changes, and that properties has been exploited a lot, and it's called adversarial attacks. So what we do is, given an image or a video, we can just maybe add a small amount of perturbation. For example, this is the original image. We can add this noise to this original image, and this is like the resultant image. And again, as a like if you look as a human, like a human eye, I mean, can't detect whether these perturbations are there, right? It's not visible. But again, like human perception, we can still say, okay, this is still a panda. But for a trained network, even though the model can say that, okay, this is a panda with a 57% of confidence, but after adding like this kind of noise, it's totally confused, and it might say it's a given with a 99% confidence. So this is called adversarial attack, and there's a lot of research being happening, because this is actually very important if we have to deploy these visual perception models in real world. For example, like as simple as this, if in autonomous driving, if we have a stop sign and we add this kind of noise in the video stream, and it converts to yield. So that's not like what we want. So the idea of this program is, we don't want to create these attacks, and also we don't want to defend these attacks, but it's like a small step towards defending. Of course, there are a lot of solutions out there to which actually defend these kind of attacks, but we wanted to look into is, can we categorize what kind of attack was used, and what exactly was the source? Because a lot of techniques are out there to create such attacks, and the motivation is, once we have like the knowledge of the source, then we will be able to actually come up with a better defense mechanism. And at the end, we have like the system which can actually categorize, given just this image, we can say that, okay, which attack was used. And we can categorize like into different families based on like whatever we have estimated. Now, coming to the biometrics, as I said, we are focusing into, given a video, can we identify like the individual just looking at, by just looking at how the way, how the people, how the person is actually walking. So there is a little more to that. And for example, like if you look at these videos, so these are different individuals and they have their own style of walking. And as a human, it might not be a very important cue, but still we might use sometimes, like we can, by just looking at how the person is walking from the back, we can say, okay, who that individual is. So it's somewhere like there, but we exactly don't know that process. So the idea here is, if you have to have such a system which can be deployed in real world, it's not just extracting that signature. It involves a lot of other things. For example, first of all, identifying there is an individual there, right? So which is called detecting, and then tracking that individual across time. And once we have that cropped region, we can call that as a tube, which is like the camera focusing on that individual. Then we can extract that signature, and try to learn like that style. So like a lot of problems involved in the system. And we can actually, so for example, this is like one sample where there's a video, we can detect these individuals, we can track them across time. So this is more simple case, this is like more complicated where it's more crowded. So you can see that all these individuals are being detected and also being tracked. And you can see like when there is some kind of occlusion and all that, the system still makes some mistakes. So it's not perfect. And again, I mean, the same thing can be used for vehicles. It's not just that it's like very specific to individuals. So yeah, those were like some of the research interests we have in the group. And I will just talk about like the short-term goals we have, and then some long-term goals as a vision. So we are looking into, like, as I said, the biometrics, how we can do, then also focusing on efficient learning, where we don't require like a lot of annotations for the training. And of course, like the robust point of view, these systems should be robust when we deploy them in the real world. I do have some collaborations where we are looking into medical imaging, because all this experience like of analyzing these videos, it's actually very useful for medical imaging, where we have this high dimensional data, which could be like 3D scans or 2D scans. And that's something like which I'm open to, like researchers coming from other areas where this computer vision, this analyzing of videos can be useful. So that kind of collaboration, I think, will be very interesting. And again, in long term, like, again, we want to improve this visual understanding, visual perception, make it robust. And all right, so yeah, that's all I have for today. So thank you for your time.